I guess my question to you then is, what is it about us? Is it just men? Is it, people in general? What is it about us that it takes us bumping our head or sometimes getting to almost a point of no return where the bridge got to get burned behind us before we finally sever that tie and move forward?
You know what? That's a good question. I think sometimes we don't want to. We don't want to. I seen, like you said, I seen all the signs, but it was something in the back of my mind that says, I need this person to validate me. And I'm gonna tell you something. The Lord showed me that I didn't need it. And here's the heavy part of it. When that person did what they did to me and threw me under the bus, that's what it took for me to break away from that circle. But then when I was thrown under the bus, I walked around with unforgiveness in my heart for years. Now, this is going to lead up to my journey dealing with my wife, because at the age of 23, we got married very early. And at the age of 23, we made plans of what we're going to do, where we're going to go. By 5 years, we were going to be here. 10 years, we were going to be here. And, Proverbs 16:9 says, we can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. And so we had plans, but we didn't know what was coming down the road. And so, so my wife got sick from a tick bite. Now let me fast forward a little bit, and then I'll put it in reverse and come back.
Okay.
So she had been sick from the age of 23, and when I tell you, she almost died. But when I fast forward to the situation that the Lord moved me out of this circle, I had unforgiveness in my heart because of the way that I was treated. And I was angry. And because I felt like I was so loyal to this guy, and I just didn't think he would do something to me like that. So I was angry for years. And so a friend of mine, another preacher of mine, called me, and it was on a snowy day. Me and my oldest daughter was on our way to pick up my youngest daughter from work, because I didn't want her to drive back on those icy roads. So as we were going, he just called me out of the blue and said, "Hey, Jones," he said, "Man, how you doing?" And we just went into a conversation. He said, "Man, how did that situation work out with you and so and so?" And I said, "It hasn't." I said, "Man, you know what he did. I told you my story and how he hurt me." And he said to me, he said, "Listen," he said, "You know what?" He said, "You got to forgive him. You got to call him and you got to forgive him." And I didn't want to hear that. And I was like, "Well, we'll see." I'll say, "I'll pray on it." But that was something I really didn't need to pray over, because the scripture teaches that there is no way we can walk around with unforgiveness in our heart and expect God to bless us. And all at the same time, I had a sick wife in my house. And I know if I had unforgiveness in my heart, none of my prayers to the Lord wouldn't amount to anything when it came down to me praying for her, because I had unforgiveness in my heart. And so I came to the conclusion, I can't fight with the scriptures. I just can't. So what I did was, I called up another pastor. I talked to him about it, and he said, "You know what? Yep, I think you need to do it." And so I called him, Mike. And this guy's seasoned. He's probably got 30 years over me in the ministry. I called him up and I said, "Hey, look, I need to talk with you. First of all, congratulations on your elevation in this organization that you're in." But I said, "I'm not calling because I want anything from you, because you just got elevated in this organization. But I need you to listen to me for a few minutes." And he said, okay. And so I said, "Listen, I know what you did. I know what you said." And I said, "You hurt me. You threw me under the bus." And I said, you really lied. But I said, "It's okay now." I said, "But what I'm calling you for, to tell you I was wrong for all of those years to hold unforgiveness in my heart against you." And he said, "No, Jones, no. And Dorsey, what my prayer was that as I came clean, I was hoping that he would come clean. Because he was much more seasoned in the ministry than I was. And so as I came clean and I said, man, I've been walking around mad and holding unforgiveness because of what you did. And I said, I'm asking you tonight to forgive me for holding that in my heart against you. Now, mind you, it wasn't my situation. He the one created it and did it. But I had to get that thing out of my heart. And I did. And when I asked him, I said, all I want to know is, will you forgive me for holding unforgiveness in my heart against you? He said, yeah, man. Yeah, but I wasn't. I said, man, listen, don't tell me that you wasn't the one. I know what happened. I know what went down. I know what went down. But I said, I held it in my heart. I'm asking you tonight, will you forgive me? He said, yes. And so then I stopped praying and hoping that he would turn around and say, you know what? I got caught up and I said some things I shouldn't have said about you. Will you forgive me? But it never happened. It never happened. But what I knew that night was I had done what the scriptures said do. I followed. I was obedient to the Lord when he spoke through my friend, the other pastor, telling me I needed to do this. I was obedient. And my hands was clean. My heart was clean. Now I was in position that whatever prayer I prayed for my wife, I know the Lord was going to hear it because I had removed that stain out of my heart. Asking him to forgive me. And to this day, he has yet to say, hey, I was wrong in this. Let me come back and say I'm sorry. He never did. But that's between him and God. I still love him as a brother. But one thing about forgiveness is that once you forgive a person, that doesn't mean they get to come back and sit at the same table with you or have a front row seat. Lost that.
Man,